My vocabulary instruction is definitely something that I'm really proud of. It's something that has been developing over the past 3 years, and I've certainly pulled from many, many resources. I actually first started to tweak my vocabulary at an ELA retreat. So Mondays are vocabulary day. Every single Monday, we are going to work on vocabulary. I choose 5 to 6 words, and we do an in-depth study of those words in context, synonyms, antonyms, manipulating the word, finding the different verb forms. We use photos, then we try to find text examples within whatever passages we're reading, whether it's a novel, a nonfiction piece, or within poetry. I pull the words from whatever text we're reading. So they're words that we're going to repeatedly encounter over the course of a week. On Tuesdays, our warm-up is we're going to revisit these words in a narrative form, and I push my students to use buzzwords, which are simply the synonyms and definitions. So I want to know that you understand the word, but I want you to show me that in the context of the sentence that you're writing, and you do that by using the appropriate buzzwords. Before we jump into our objective, go ahead and share out your vocabulary narrative. You have 2 minutes. Jump in, please. If you sound like Micah, then you can get credit. Oh, poop, brother. You want to tag on with us?
I don't think that either of them are mediocre, but they are beyond medium quality. Although I think that Maya is still the one person.
3, 2, and 1. You may not have gotten to finish. Let's go over our 5 vocabulary words that we started working with yesterday. First word is knack. Everyone say knack.
Knack.
Intrigue.
Intrigue.
Captivate.
Captivate.
Eloquent.
Eloquent.
And this funny word, mediocre.
Mediocre.
Go ahead and flip to the back side of your paper. Elijah Lambert is going to share his narrative for us today. We want to listen for the word and buzzwords. And Nicole, those buzzwords can be words from our definition or any synonyms that we covered yesterday. He'll read it twice. You're competing with the AC, brother. And so Tuesdays are always devoted to our vocabulary narratives. I tend to tie the narrative to whatever we're studying. So it could be, if we're doing poetry, it could be a poetry slam. Pretend you were at a poetry slam between Maya Angelou and Langston Hughes. Or pretend you are the main character in Island of the Blue Dolphins and you're stuck on the island with your brother. What happens that day using our vocabulary? And because students are being exposed to the vocabulary in the context that they're reading, it seems more accessible to students. Go ahead.
I am in the house sitting with my 2 companies when it happens. Maya and Langston have started a poetry slam competition. I knew that they both had a knack or talent for poetry, but dang were they good. Maya comes out with her life doesn't frighten me at all poem. Boy, it is so intriguing or fascinating that I was captivated. She held my attention with her fascination. Although I am captivated with Maya's words, Langston surprises me with his dream poems. They both are eloquent or skilled at speaking. I don't think that either of them are mediocre, but they are beyond medium quality. Although I think this, Maya is still the #1 person on top.
One more time, please. Make sure you have the word and the buzzwords. Excellent timing, gents. Let's tag in. Go ahead.
I am in the house sitting with my 2 companies when it happens.
When students share out the narrative whole group, I always ask one student to share. Students have to flip to the back side of their page. They have to write all of the vocabulary words out, and then I want them to recognize the buzzwords that he used to prove that he understood the meaning of those words, or that he used them correctly, or that he didn't use it correctly, and that we can recognize that when that happens. So students are always required to do something to show that they're also learning in that moment when another student is sharing. Go ahead and share with your neighbor what words and buzzwords did you hear Elijah use correctly. Go ahead. Cool. Three, 2, 1. Yashanique's going to keep track of our participation points today, so let's jump in. What are some words and then the buzzwords that you heard used correctly? Dave, why don't you start us off? Amadi, can you write the name of someone tracking well for us, please? Whole conversation. Go ahead, Dave.
I heard Elijah say mediocre correctly, and I said he said mediocre by saying that they were beyond medium quality.
Yeah, I love that. They were beyond medium quality. They weren't mediocre, they were above that. Really nicely done. Aziz, another one?
I heard the word knack, where he said they had a talent for poetry.
Yes, a knack. They had a special talent for poetry. I liked that one as well. Thanks, Andrea, for tracking so well. Jazz, the next one, please.
When he said intrigue, I think he used that one correctly because he was like intrigued or fascinated.
Excellent. This is exactly what I have. Intrigue, and then he used the word fascinating to help prove his point that he understood it. Take the next one, Deontay.
I said I heard captivated because he said I was captivated with Maya's work. Couldn't take my eyes off her.
Yeah, he also said this word. Go ahead and circle it if you don't have it circled. He said my attention. I couldn't take my eyes off of her. She kept my attention. It's a really good phrase to use. One final word. Courage.
I said eloquent.
Yes.
He said skill at speaking.
Yeah, skilled at speaking. Really, really nicely done. Used all of those words correctly. Let's give Elijah 2 claps. 1, 2, 3. Vocab in the vocab section. On Thursdays, we'll do another warm-up with vocabulary as well. I'll give some more photos, and I'll give a passage with blanks, and they need to fill in the appropriate form of the vocabulary word. And then every Friday, I do a vocabulary assessment where I ask students to be able to recognize the definition, write a narrative using the words, as well as buzzwords. Working with synonym and antonym, I always include a photo and ask them to choose a word that best fits this photo and explain why. Again, looking for the buzzwords. And that's just a common routine that I have every week within every unit.